Right, just a quick tutorial on how to change the BMW 650 fuel filter and pressure regulator thingy. For some reason BMW put it into the same unit, which makes this part a little bit dearer than a normal fuel filter, but whatever, if you're doing the work yourself, it's one of those things. And it has to be done around every 24,000 miles. Mine was last done in 2016 and I've gone over by a couple of thousand and mine started to fail. So bear that in mind, that these are pressure regulators, so they can be under quite a lot of pressure, so it's a good idea that you run the bike for a good day, get that petrol down to the petrol light coming on is a very, very good idea, because then that's less that it's going to be in the tank, that's less to go everywhere, because you can't turn it off and it will flow out if you have over a certain amount. Secondly, leave the bike to sit for a day or two, because that will lower the pressure and hopefully put all the petrol will start to drain back into the tank. Anyway, so just make sure you do that. Then make sure you've got perhaps some like water, maybe some blankets, maybe a fire blanket, maybe a fire extinguisher, because it is under pressure. If it is starting to fail, I got a bit nervous. Make sure you're wearing some safety goggles and gloves, because it might start to spray a little bit around. Make sure you got 3 new hose clamps. You'll see why in the video, where you need 3 new ones. And of course the new fuel filter. Oh, and you can do this entirely with the toolkit that BMW gives you. The only thing you might want to do is just have a better pair of pliers. Right, well this is quite easy. Step 1, take off the seat, then unplug and detach and completely remove the ECU. Then you need to remove all these little bolts to take off the side panel. This one and this one, don't forget. Now, this nut right here, this is why you have to do all of this, because that is not a nut, it's a weld point, and you need to be able to get a Torx behind there to undo it. Then when you pull it out, you'll realize that BMW used these stupid non-reusable hose clamps, so make sure you go out and get some new ones. A good tip is to take the plastic nubs off the new one and attach it to the old one so you don't get petrol everywhere. I detached the top line first. Out of that top line, about a tablespoon of petrol came out. Then I detached the left and right one. I made sure to mark the outer line and before I reattached it to make sure I kept that. As you can see there, I've marked it with the little red zip tie to know that that's the outer one, and then there's a bottom center one, and then there's a top one that goes in. The old unit will still hold petrol in it, so it will start to flow if you accidentally have the pipes pointing down, so I zip tied the pipes up while I was just changing it. I was also listening to music while doing all of this with one earpiece in. I have muted the audio, not because I'm scared of a copyright claim, I just don't want people to make fun of me listening to Justin Bieber. It's quite a simple job. It's quite relatively easy to do if you're okay with changing fuel clamps, etc. It's not terribly hard. It's just really, really awkward to get in there to change things. You can do it with the standard toolkit. I've got my tiny little wrench kit thing that I use, and that was able to give me just enough wiggle room to get it all in there. It's a bit of annoying because of all the stuff you have to take off, and it's one of these service items that has to be changed every 24,000 miles. I don't see any years attached to it. So it's only every 24,000 miles. So you could have no other service item that needs replacing, and then you have to take off half the bike just to get to this. Whereas if that nut was faced the other way around, you could probably undo it from this side and you wouldn't have that problem. Why do they do that? I swear the BMW engineers really hate mechanics. And then stupid non-reusable hose clamps. I can complain, I've had this bike for ages now. Absolutely stupid. Anyway, once you got it all plugged in again, turn the bike on and off a couple of times. Maybe you'll hear it prime a couple of times, and it took a few tries to get it to start. It did eventually start, but it just took that extra time to get that fuel into the system again. Anyway, that's it. The video is not to help you or anything. This is to help me for when I need to remember how to do this thing in another probably 25,000 miles or whatever until I change it again. Anyway, hope that helps. The annoying thing is I've got the coolant to change next month.